The US warned Oman not to get involved in any effort with Iran to impose a toll on the Strait of Hormuz. While briefing the reporters, US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said he spoke with the idea of joint control with Iran on the Strait of Hormuz, with which it also says it has discussed the freedom of navigation.
I think the president wanted to punctuate freedom of navigation in the Strait. I had a call with the Omani ambassador this morning, and he assured me that there were no plans for tolling the Strait. As he said, our countries have had 200 years of good relations. He wants to have another 200 more. And I told him that this was a non-starter, and he did not want to risk either the Omani individuals or Omani financial institutions getting sanctioned.
And now to give you more on this, I'm joined by DD India correspondent Akshay Dungre from Newsroom. Good morning, Akshay. Well, 60-day ceasefire is under consideration now, and the White House Deputy Chief of Staff has also said that in addition to a complete reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, Iran has also made many other concessions which are going to be unveiled in the time to come. What more can you tell us on this?
Well, yes, this is a good step in the direction of dialogue and diplomacy, as countries like India have been reiterating from the very beginning of the conflict. A 60-day period is going to give diplomacy a chance, at least, without the threat of drones, without the threat of missiles and sanctions, as well as the financial institutions are concerned in Iran. That is already a battered down economy at this point in time. We have a global economy that is also suffering because of this conflict, and the reopening of Strait of Hormuz is going to aid substantially with that. So that is also going to be a good point. But with the US officials talking about the concessions that their adversary has made, and that too speaking publicly, is not the wisest decision that they are making, given the fact that these talks, these dialogues and diplomacy sessions are held in private. They are kept in highest form of secrecy till the time a permanent resolution, a permanent ceasefire resolution is not agreed upon by both the parties. So it will be quite jumping a gun, talking about several concessions by your adversary, and in a bit to humiliate either your adversary or trying to make yourself feel better just ahead of a major midterm election that's coming up. That can impact the ceasefire. That can also impact the trust factor that is there between both the sides as it is being developed by the leaderships of the two countries. What more concession has either the US made or Iran made is secondary, but at this point in time the world is actually quite keenly looking at a possibility of a ceasefire and the implementation of it, more importantly, to ensure that the massive strain that has come on the global economy comes down at least by a little notch.
Akshay, also tell us, if the 60-day plan is agreed, do we see any immediate impact on global supply chain and easing of energy supply?
Well, it surely does. Closure of Strait of Hormuz is like closure of 20% of global trade, oil trade that directly goes to countries like India, countries in Southeast Asia, other countries of South Asia as well that already are in a phase of massive development. But being cut off from their main fuel supplies, these countries can end up in massive economic problems like recession. So the continuation of the oil supplies not only is going to bring down the oil prices down substantially, but also give the other countries a feel of what peace feels like after this kind of a prolonged conflict, and how much easing up it will do to the financial institution as well as the energy markets that are actually dependent on all of this fuel coming in from the Strait of Hormuz. So it will obviously ease it, but by how much, and what will be the market sentiment regarding its permanence? That is the big question. And even if the ceasefire is announced, its implementation will be the main cause of concern for the countries, and a permanent solution will also be a major point where now the global economies should likely be pushing both the sides, to both the US and Iran, so that the global economy doesn't go into a whirlwind and end up in a recession like situation, which will pull the entire global economy down as well.
All right, thank you so much, Akshay, for joining us and getting us the latest.